Hey, what's coming, kings and queens? Today's video is all about buying your ideal client or your buyer's persona. There's a lot of names for this, but this is probably one of the most important things that I would tell you today. And this is what I do for all my clients for our first session. So you probably heard the saying before. If you talk to everybody, you talk to nobody. That's why this is so crucial to understand who our ideal client is, how we can find them, target them, help them, and serve them. And you probably used to the general questions you hear all the time. What's their age, and name, and gender? And we'll go into that. But even more than just that, some of the 2 or 3 biggest questions I just start off with is, who is the past version of yourself? Because normally people who are doing any kind of business is fulfilling a need that they had themselves done. For me, I know marketing is my favorite thing to do because I needed marketing years ago. So now it's the past version of me to help them do the same thing. If it's helping them with their agency, or helping them with their coaching, or helping them with their real estate, whatever it might be, I am able to know I've been there before. If it goes to the next question, what is something you have overcome in your own life that you can help other people with? I'm always saying, your ideal client, the past version of yourself. So having this down helps us really understand who we're talking to. But this is kind of the few think questions to kind of get the ball rolling to the deeper parts. And you have to ask them, what's their name? What's their age? What gender? What location are they at? Or is it location independent? Is it in this one area? Is it in Austin, Texas? The nice part of this town? The poor part of this town? You gotta be hyper focused on this. And then what is the occupation? What kind of job do they have? And then what hobbies and interests do they have? What are they into? Knowing these kind of things will help us really understand, who we're talking to, what they're finding them at, and how to, get them more exposure to what we're trying to offer them. And then a big one to ask yourself too is, what are the main problems? I normally try to tell my clients to do at least 3 to 5 main problems they can solve. And I will give you an example on all of this, how I do my ideal client, to help you understand more what I'm talking about, with some context to it. And then what do they spend their time offline or online? That's me a huge thing to know too. If you're making a Facebook ad for them, yeah, I know where to target them at. Are they on Facebook? Are they on YouTube? Are they on Instagram? Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on different platforms that are people like entrepreneur.com and so forth? Knowing these things help us really identify who we're talking to a way deeper level. And then who are your main competitors? This is also a super thing to know too. And you can even retarget people who are in that niche. So for me being a marketer, my main competitor would be Gary Vaynerchuk. So I can know if I target people who follow Gary Vaynerchuk, I'll have a way more chance of making sure my marketing campaign goes really well. And for example for this, for me, my name for them would be Jane or Joe. I do guys or women, doesn't matter to me. Ages normally 20 to 50 plus. So below 20, they probably don't have the funds and the business growth for me to be helping them to their full capacities. So it'd be a huge thing to know. And then the gender, I told you, is both address, location. I do a lot of my clients in Austin, Texas, or around Texas, but I'm also a digital marketer, so it's all around the side of the world. I have clients all the way down to Malta and even farther than that. And also occupation, my main clients are realtors or investors or people who do water filters or HVAC or solar panels. Anybody who's in the real estate industry, my ideal client are those kind of people. But even more than that, since I do coaching as well, I have to have people who are just entrepreneurs, people who are other marketers. We have coached tons of marketers, try to make more exposure as well. So having this ideal really helps us fine tune where we're going to. A lot of times like the hobbies is like reading and networking and investing and hiking and riding and traveling, all the different things that I like to do myself. I know I have to find them at. I can go to the green belt here in Austin, Texas and find people like that, or I can go to networking events. Like yesterday I made like 7 new potential clients from going to a networking event of realtors and investors. So I know what to go to. And we go even deeper on this as well. For one of my clients, I broke down all the locations in her area so she knew exactly where to go for networking events. So for you, definitely do the same thing. If you're in a real estate industry or you do marketing for realtors, I would find events that are in that area that is tailored for that kind of stuff. That way when you can go there, you have direct marketing and indirect marketing as well to get more conversions, higher ROI, and more revenue for you and your business to really grow and prosper the way you're trying to make it happen for yourself. Like offline, online, like before, where they at, the Realtor boards, Entrepreneur magazines, Forbes, Bigger Pockets, YouTube, networking events, like I just said, and the list goes on and on and on. My main competitors are people like, major marketing agencies, or Gary Vaynerchuk, or Neil Patel. Obviously they're way ahead of my level right now, but those are the kind of people that I keep in mind, because we're all on the same playing field. Even if you're a brand new marketer, or brand new realtor, or brand new entrepreneur, you name it, we're all on the same playing field. We can get just as much exposure as somebody else can if we leverage our ideal client by persona correctly. But then that's just kind of the basis of it. Now, what the deeper questions are that most people don't understand, and I'm looking down too because I have to have this in a whole list, because finding your ideal client is way more than just your names and the age and the occupation and the gender and how much income they make. Those are huge. You gotta know. Like for me, most of my ideal clients be making at least 4 figures or 5 a month to really have my services for them. So you kind of target people who don't know or not making enough money. You just be spinning the wheels, or they're making so much money you can't handle that yet. It's the same way. So having a super narrowed down target market makes a huge impact on us and your business. But here's a top like 6 or 7 biggest questions to go even deeper on what your ideal client is, so make sure you have the most exposure for it. And number 1, what are the biggest wants? What are they trying to get in life? And what are the biggest fears, desires, and what's the why? Because if you don't know that aspect of it, it becomes way harder to try to find a target market and then to sell them. If I just knew my target market but I didn't know what they wanted or what they was fearful of or the desires and the why behind it, it becomes way harder for me to pitch them my solutions, because them's like fumbling around. So you should know, like, is it why to help other people become better selves, or to make more money, or to help their family? Is the biggest fear not selling enough homes, for example, or not having enough exposure or a big enough brand? Is the biggest desire, to have financial freedom, to make the world a better place? Just a few examples of what that looks like. And then the next one is super huge. It's like, what are their main needs and how can you help them? What is the biggest problem that you can solve for them, and what does that look like once it's done? It's about painting that picture in their mind, saying, hey, after this happens, you'll be able to, close 5 or 10 more houses a month and get 10 more clients and have a 30% increase in your ROI within the first month or so. Knowing these kind of things becomes super imperative in your marketing endeavor, and also helping your clients to the best potential, and also just your sales process. This is why I'm always trying to stress, doing these ideal clients for my new clients for a first meeting, especially for like people who are realtors. A lot of times, a lot of realtors think that everybody's their target market. It's just they have a home, they have a place to buy a house. It's good, but a lot of times you can super niche down and dominate one kind of market and make a bigger impact. So you gotta know what can we help them with, what is the biggest need. Like for me, I know the biggest need is clients and leads and exposure. So you can have more revenue to help more people and have their business grow and scale. And then what is the biggest roadblock for them? And what is the root cause of that? If the biggest roadblock is that they don't understand social media, then I can come in and help them. And the big root issue behind that is, one, they don't want to do it or want to learn how to do it, because I've been doing marketing for 9 years, and marketing takes a lot of time, to learn all that stuff. It's always changing and there's so many nuances to it. So it's understandable why the root issue is there. And a lot of people in my target market are older, so they don't even want to use social media or use the computer that much. So that's the root issue there. So you gotta know how we can fill that need and help them even more. And then this one's super powerful too. It's like, what will your ideal client feel like if you wasn't there to help them? Because that one's gonna help you a lot too. Like if you weren't there to fix the problem, how will they go through life? And this is why I feel like, marketers is one of the best ways to support other people and help them become the best selves and live life on their own terms and have the freedom to do so. So we're pretty much giving and sharing the ability for them to get more leads, get more clients, and to grow the business like I've been saying so much. And if I wasn't there to help them, they'd be in the same level all the time. If a few houses closed every single month, or a few new clients, or not able to scale their business or find their ideal client, all these things come into play, which is why I do what I do. And like I said before, how much do they make? You have to know, can they afford what you're offering? Since my average price my clients pay is anywhere from $1,000 all the way up to $10,000 plus. If someone only makes $1,000 a month or $5,000 a month, they probably can't buy my packages yet, which is why I have all these free videos to help you get to that level. Why I have books about marketing and about life and goal setting and time management and all these different things to help you get to that level. You gotta have a way to tailor to both audiences. I'm always saying you talk to everybody, you talk to no one, but at the same time we can still leverage our expertise to not only help just people who are trying to, fulfill a need for, but also people who are trying to get to that level themselves too, so they can become an ideal client. And then like, what value do they hold? That one's gonna be really good for you to do too. Like, if you don't have the same values, it's gonna be really hard to work with them. And then this kind of segues to the last point on having an ideal client. What is the client that you would not turn down? Who is somebody that if you was super booked, had no more room for any more clients, or the person wasn't making enough money, who would that client be? Who would you still help regardless of if you couldn't help them anymore? That would be one of the biggest ways to find your ideal client on top of what I just mentioned. Once you know, who would not turn away, it really makes it way easier for us to find an ideal client. For me, I would not turn away somebody who is trying to help people find homes and make their life better and live on their own terms, have the freedom to do so, who are super ethical, have really good values and morals, and want to make the world a better place. Those are the kind of people I would not turn away, because that's how I am. So those are kind of big questions to ask yourself for your ideal client. And also asking like, what is the lifetime value of a client? If one client pays me normally $3,000 a month, I want to have that be my client for a lifetime. I have clients now I've had for 2 or 3 years consistently. So for me, a lifetime value of one client in a year is normally around $40,000. But then you go times by 3, because then you can understand more referral bonuses, people they suggest to you. And I'll have a whole video about this later on, and also up above I have a whole video on how to find more leads and clients for free. So if you use these two strategies together, you have more clients you know what to do with. Like I said before, you know, I met 7 new potential clients just yesterday. I have tons of clients in my pipeline I'm still talking to and working with, and I already have clients now. So by doing this really hyper focused bird's eye view of my ideal client, it helps me a lot on getting more clients, knowing how to structure my packages, what I'm saying, and how I'm doing it. So I hope this helped you. Down below, what is your ideal client? And it's a fast recap. I know there's a lot I just said. You know, first thing you want to do for your ideal client is ask yourself, who is a past version of yourself? Or what is something you've overcome that was super hard, but now you have other people do the same? And obviously your name, the age, the gender, address, location, the occupation, hobbies and interests. What are the main problems? List a few of them. You know, where do they spend most of their time, offline and online? And then who are your main competitors? And then you can go even deeper to the last thing I just asked about, you know. What are the biggest wants and desires, the biggest fears? What is the why? Why are they doing this in the first place? And what makes them need your help? Why should they choose you over somebody else? Which is also why it's super powerful to have your unique selling proposition in there. What do you do differently than other people? For me, I offer coaching on top of my marketing. I give them all my books, all my templates, all my training videos. That makes me different than everybody else who does marketing. And then, what is the biggest roadblock for them? What's holding them back? What is the root issue of that? You also want to ask them is, if your ideal client did not have you helping them fix their problem, how will they feel and what will they be like? How much do your clients make? What kind of values do they hold? And like I said before, you know, what is the lifetime value of one client? And all these things come into play. So make a list, write them all down. I'll also have down below, you can download a link to this to see yourself on your ideal client, completely free. And it's gonna help you a lot on your ideal clients and make more clients, make more exposure, get a better brand, and make a bigger difference in your business and your life. As always, you're all kings and queens. This is your time. Have an amazing day. I'll talk to you soon. And again, let me know what kind of content you want to see in the future. What helps you the most? You want more content like this about marketing only? Or you want to have stuff about life and goal setting and how to be more productive? As always, see you soon.